Welcome to Divine Honey Podcast. I am your host, your friend, your daily inspiration, Tamika Johnson. This show is about human experiences. This includes thought-provoking conversations, and most importantly, our Divine Honey guests who come on each week and share stories about love, life, journey, and purpose. If you're watching on the replay or on the live, please feel free, if you're inspired, to leave a question. So show so much love in the comment section because we want to hear from you. So today we are going to be talking about thriving in your 40s. So I know I had to bring on a sister circle to have that conversation. And the reason why I wanted to touch on that topic is I just joined the 40 Club earlier this year and just want to talk about that transition and navigating through that. We're going to be discussing ageism, how our society devalue us sometimes as a woman as we age, the idea of where we should be at 40. Could that be marriage? Could that be owning a home, having children, our financial stability, and the good stuff, being single, dating, our interpersonal relationships with our friends and with our family and what that looks like as you age and with the experience you have behind you, right? And then, of course, we want to talk about our mental health and physical because we're changing. So I knew I had to get some amazing ladies who are also in their 40s, and we're all going to share how we are navigating through all of this and how we are thriving in our 40s, or at least setting out to do so and live our best lives. So I hope you guys light up this comment section and ask questions, share your experiences, and let's have a good time. So first, I want to introduce Patrice. Hello, Patrice.
Hi.
So Patrice Hall is a California native by way of Michigan. She is a homeowner and she loves spending her free time going to brunch with her girlfriends. And she secretly loves all things organizing. Hey, Patrice.
Hi.
And then we have our guest, Yolanda Shelton. She is from Detroit. She's a Detroit, Michigan native. She went to Michigan State University and also graduated with a degree in apparel and textile design. Both of us. Instead of pursuing a career in fashion, she decided to step out on her own and come up here to Arizona, come to the Valley, and she decided to not head the fashion route way, but she paved her path in an education, finance, banking, and the non-profit industry. But creative juices, because us creative people always have to have our outlet no matter what we're doing. She, which is really awesome, was a member of the Phoenix Fashion Week style team from 2013 to 2015 and managed Arizona's entertainers and provide wardrobe consulting. But in 2020, she made a decision to work on her and reconstruct her life and go to therapy, be more in tune with God, and put herself worth or herself first. And now she's on a journey to freedom and loving every aspect of her life. So I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
You
Yes.
guys, how are you guys feeling today?
Excited. Excited.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good today.
Okay, I'm glad you guys here. So how we all met? We all like what I said at the end, like when we were talking about Yvonnda, how she had started therapy and things. We all went on the therapy journey in 2020, I would say.
Hmm.
So we all met in group therapy together. I think me and Patrice, we met in a group therapy session. What year was it?
That was 2020.
Yes. And it
Yeah.
was called 90 Days of Balance. And then guess what? All three of us were in it together. So I guess a question I have, how old were you guys when you first decided I'm going to go to the therapy route? And what made you make that decision? Yvonnda, you can go first.
Okay. I was actually 33 years old. I was working for University of Phoenix and going through some things with work. And work stress, it gets to you. And I decided I need to go to therapy during that time because I was like, I am so stressed out and angry. I didn't know I was frustrated and angry. And so I went the first time, stayed for like a couple of months. It was cool. It was cool. But in 2020 is when I actually met the therapist I have now that we've all met through. And I believe going to therapy in 2020, I was in a different mindset and I was more open to receive that time. And I feel like I actually did receive, and I've changed so much from it. And it made me go just because I wanted to become a better person and stop being so angry.
Yes. Patrice, how about yourself?
I feel like I've wanted to experience therapy for years. And I think I too was about in my 30s. I'm going to say like around 35 was when I thought about doing it. And I would put a reminder in my phone to look for someone, to find someone. But I knew for me, I wanted to find a Black woman therapist. And this, one of those things, it just come into your mind, you think about it, and then it would leave. It would leave. Or my reminders would come up at, awkward times when I was with different people. It'd be like, ooh, you need a therapist. I'm like, oh my gosh. But it wasn't until 2020 when I really was like, okay, I'm going to do this. And I think I went to Therapy for Black Girls. I think that's what it's called. I went to that website, and that's how I found our therapist. And it's been amazing since.
Wow.
Wow. That's awesome. Oh, I do want to state like a fact, like the percentage of women in therapy, like versus men. And I read somewhere, and this was, I believe, in 2021, 24% for women and 13.4% for men.
Wow.
Yes. So, and then especially as the older we get, that number may decrease. With women, it's going up. Do either of you kind of have an opinion, maybe why?
The only thing I can say, I think about the state of the world we're in right now and how much women carry on themselves. We have more women executives and business owners. Also, too, I feel like a lot of women are being the head of households more, even if there is a man in the house and carrying a lot. You need somebody to talk to, and you need to release that trauma, hurt, and pain. And also, I feel like women sometimes can be more open to being willing to go talk to someone before a man feel like they can.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
I agree. I think we are doing all the things now. We are going to school. We are getting our degrees. We are trying to move up that corporate ladder to support, even if it's just ourselves, just to support us. And that stress and all of that we're taking on, yeah, I can see why we're doing it. I mean, as far as the men, I just don't think they're as open. As Bonnie was saying, they're not as open, and they may feel some type of way about getting down. I think we're more vulnerable, and we're able to express our feelings more.
Oh, 100%. Getting therapy and all these things, how, like, especially being in your 40s, how are your relationships, like interpersonal, like with your friends or your family? How has that changed, like compared to when you were younger or now, with the things that you've like learned in your healing journey?
You want to start, Patrice?
Okay, for me, I feel like it's been a roller coaster, only because now I am getting all these new, I guess, tools and these different things to try to not necessarily fix, but understand me and understand why I am the way I am. So it's just like, oh, and it's not just like a quick fix. Here you go. Boop. It's just like, okay, let's open up this piece of me. Let's open up that piece of me. And how come this? And it's been very interesting just for me myself, but then interacting with other people, I have to understand, okay, maybe they feel this way because of, or their interaction with me is like this because of, and I'm feeling this way in this interaction because of, so it's been more of a enlightening or understanding for me, and I think it's been good. It's been a roller coaster though, but overall, it's been great.
I can agree. It has been great. I will say, starting with the relationship with you first, I really had to work on that, and therapy
Mhm.
taught me how to start in that relationship with me first, and evaluate myself, and really take the time to like forgive myself, be
Mm.
honest and truthful with myself. So moving forward with family, friends, it has helped because now that since I'm in therapy, I honestly feel like some of my friends, I know my mom, some
Mhm.
of my homework assignments I've had, they do them. So it's like they're in therapy too. Um, I also believe like some of my conversations with friends I have, usually, sometimes people be ready to go from 1 to 10 real quick. I just feel like now conversating, people have calmed down, and I was like, oh, maybe because I've also watched my
Mm.
and I've calmed down. So I think my relationships have become better, but also it helped me realize that there are some people who can't grow with me because they're
Mm.
used to me being that person pre-therapy, and they don't like what I look like now, because when you're healing, you're starting to, things just totally start to go away. Yeah, it's taking time, but it's just that even just a
Mhm.
little chip can be a chip that somebody's used to you having on you and you no longer have. So I did learn that both sides of it, like growing in areas with some of the friends and family, and in some areas where people have just moved on. And I tripped out about it first. I did. I was
Mhm.
hurt. But now I realize that when you're healing, you do outgrow people. You do.
100%. We have a comment from Naz and Mama, and I actually know this is Felicia. Hey, girl, hey. Her comment was, a lot of men think going to therapy is not for them,
Mm.
and they are not talkers as much as women. So we appreciate that comment. So one thing in therapy, like especially us doing the group stuff, is like, and even through the whole healing process, and especially getting older,
Mm.
and then especially these past couple years, especially going through the pandemic, how important friendships are
Mm.
and tribes. And some people, you've been friends with for a long time and you become family. And when things like a pandemic or life happens, it brings you closer. And sometimes when you're going through your healing process, because remember, we can't control other people, but I can control me. And like with you, Yvonnda, you were saying people were calm because you were calm. Um, just learning how to navigate through those friendships and really appreciating like these bonds that are renewed and that the new ones that are created. So trying to say, especially when we're in the therapy group, we created bonds there, we created tribes. And I just want to know how important you think it is to have support, especially later in life when you've had all these things happen. Like some of us have gone through a lot of breakups, divorce, you name it, and how important these bonds are and these tribes.
Mm.
Man, I'm just gonna say it is extremely important. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
share. I have an opportunity to move out of state.
Mhm.
And I literally was speaking to the person I was going to make a decision if I was going to move out of state. And I told them, I can't move out of state. And they were like, why? And I said, I had to rethink everything. I said, my tribe is here.
Mm.
And they were like, what? And I was like, so let me tell you, people who I can literally go to physically or on a phone or text, they're here. I need that at this point in my life. That's what I need. Like getting a new house, moving into a new state, getting a new car, that's good and dandy, but you have to develop a whole new tribe of people you could trust, rely
Mhm.
on, be there for you. Even something simple. I think people forget like things, emergency contact. Who's gonna be your emergency contact in a whole nother state? You don't know nobody, right? And so that just really hit me about I knew my tribe was important, but I didn't realize how important it was when I had a decision to move out of state. It's a great opportunity, but I was
Mhm.
like, is this the opportunity that's going to help my mental health?
Mm.
Whew.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I I never knew how important it was to have a tribe. For me personally, my thing was I want that one person. I
Mhm.
want that one best friend. I want that one person that knows any and everything about me. But that person can't take on all of me. Like all of that. Like you need to have and multiple tribes, which I didn't understand that either. But now I'm getting to know because some people can handle certain things and some people cannot. And that's
Mhm.
completely fine. So yes, like
Mhm.
I've had old I wouldn't even call them tribes. I've had old groups of friends before, chaotic, toxic, all of those things. And it's like, this tribe here, it's just an eye opener. It's just so, we are all different, but
Mhm.
we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to heal. We're all trying to grow. We're all trying and be positive and just support. It's just a different light for me. And I love it. It's so important.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, add something, Tamika, to what Patrice said, because that is so true. I thought about that too.
Mm-hmm.
I had a conversation with some of my close group of friends
Mm-hmm.
last year earlier because going through therapy and realizing stuff. I apologized to them about some stuff. What I realized is that some people are just like, okay, yeah, I hear you, Vonda, yeah, cool. But I realized, like, you know what? Some of these group of people don't really get the healing part of the tribe. And I realized, like, that's why these group of women the current group of women and other groups of people, male and female, that I could
Mhm.
have in my tribe, when people are all reaching for the same goal of healing, it's different when you're having conversations with them,
Mhm.
having them support you. So, Patrice, thinking about what you said, like some of the old groups of friends or associates, sometimes they may not hear what you're saying because they're used to tackling things the same old way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And thank you for that. That's great, you guys. We actually have another comment from Patrice. She's saying, yes, you are so right, Patrice. One person, friend can't handle it all. We have Miranda. She said, and I can be pulling these up. I'm slacking, y'all. I'm slacking on y'all. Okay. She said, hey, girls, hey, love the call out. The different tribes have different purposes. We roll through life differently with different people.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. I have a lot of different friend groups. So that's always
Mhm.
been to me. But now I'm cultivating those friendships. Everybody is for different purposes. I'm for different purposes for them. And,
Mhm.
and I love them. I will say what they all have in common is they are all supportive. But sometimes we're on you might be gravitating towards more spending more time with another friend group because just where you're at in life. Like, I'm single, I don't have children, so I'm probably going to physically be with people with that friend group, or they can relate to what's going on, but appreciate them all the same. But sometimes, like, we're all not growing in the same direction. I think
Mhm.
that's okay. Sometimes I can actually meet people where they're at. And
Mhm.
maybe there's seasons where we're not as connected,
Mm-hmm.
and that's okay. And then there's another season where we're like this, and that's okay. I can kind of roll with the changes. I'm still there, never too far away. But yes, thank you for the comments. What else so another thing I wanted to kind of get into, because when was the first time you guys experienced ageism?
Mm.
Or any type of discrimination, or even just like anything said about your age that was negative? And how old were you?
Let's see. I feel like I've gotten that a lot throughout the years, mostly with work. Um, I definitely, I want to say a lot happened in my 30s. I can definitely say my 30s, but at work, when people first meet you or meet me, they don't know how old I am. So a
Mhm.
lot of people talk down to me because they think that I'm younger than I am, and they're trying to tell me things or delegate things of that nature. And it's like,
Mhm.
let's have a conversation. I've been here, I've done this, I've done that. And I am 44 years young. And they don't, they don't see that. And when they hear how old I am, they're like, oh, things switch. And it's like, okay, we're here now. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I know what's going on. I know how to get this job done or whatever the case may be. But yeah, definitely at work for me.
I agree, Patrice, at work mostly. Yeah, I'm usually get the same thing, Patrice. They don't think I'm 43 years young, and they usually coworkers or staff don't think I'm 43, or even when I was in my 30s. So they assume I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I agree, they end up looking at you like, well, how can you get this position? I remember at one company I was at, I interviewed for a manager position. I actually was able to get the position. I was the first Black manager they had at that time. And then they were like, well, you're so young. I was like, well, how old do you think I am? And then, this is other thing that I appreciate the comment we get as people of color, but then it comes with, oh, I didn't realize you're that old. You know how Black people, we just don't know how old they are. Okay.
I think in the workplace, I had to, no, I was actually still in my like 20s, but I was late 20s, and my manager kept calling me, she said, you're a wonderful girl. I had to stop her. I said, I'm an adult. I said, I'm a woman. I'm like almost 30 at the time. So that was kind of weird. But I think a big thing that kind of sticks with me, like in dating and stuff, like there was a situation where by the time I was 30, I kept getting told about children. My clock was running out, and that, like, okay, you're not married, you're not this. Like, my value as just whatever it means to be a woman um, was in question. And this is by a man. So, yeah, so this is when I started experiencing it once I turned 30, or just, or I get now because I'm 40 and I still, like, it's in my spirit and my heart to still have a child. Sometimes I feel weird saying it to somebody, but they're looking at me like,
Don't
hey.
feel weird. Say it.
It's
Right.
like, they're like, well, you better get on it. And we got to like stop doing that onto people.
Mhm.
Everything is, like, we know what the timeline is, to be honest.
I honestly don't. So when I was younger, I heard it so much, but I think I heard it because I grew up in a church. Everybody in the church was like, you got to get married before you have sex. And then you got to get married and have kids. And then you had to buy a house and this. But you know what? What set me free is once I moved to Arizona, I didn't have everybody in my ear saying it. So it did nothing to me. Like to this day, I'm not a homeowner. And I'm okay with that. Because even now I'm thinking about being a homeowner, but I was like, who's going to clean all these rooms? And then who's going to cook this grass? These are things I think about, and I'm happy with just being in the condo right now and okay. And even with having a child, I was like, would I have been okay if I had one in my 30s? I would have made it work, but I'm still glad I have time and it will happen. And Tamika, you do too.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, and I feel so like here's the thing. I really feel like entering into this new decade, I have the tools. You're never perfect. You're always growing. There's a setback, but I have the tools and I have the support. I was not ready to be someone's mom. I mean, are you ever really? But I know I can tell you not even 2 years ago, not capable of being in a relationship or having a kid. So just not. So I feel good for myself. This is just my experience. I've had the opportunity to heal trauma and break some generational curses before entering in that. It's a blessing for me, but I know that like not wasn't ready.
Yeah. Those timelines out the window for me. Just any of those things. Because I was a late bloomer. I was the one that did everything later than the majority of my friends. And sometimes it got to me, but I didn't have that pressure from my parents as far as children were concerned. They never were like, when. It was outside. Those people were
Yeah.
asking. I'm like, well, what are you asking for? Or even in relationships. And that was just, I want to say, a year or so ago, where a guy was just like, you don't have any kids? Like, are you
Mhm.
are you selfish or something along those lines? And I'm just like, how is it me being selfish? Um, Me myself would love to be married before I decide to have children or a child. Like, why would I just want to do that by myself if I don't have to? I know what I want, and that's not it. I mean, at this point in my life, I don't feel that's not it for me. The other milestones, like going to college, I didn't get my bachelor's degree until I want to say I was 38 or 39.
Mhm.
I felt like, oh, I'm later than everyone else. But again, my family was like, they were there. They were at my graduation supporting me. And I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, it doesn't, the timeline, it's out the window.
It's out there.
Totally.
And I think, like with women, I think we're starting to really just work on ourselves. So we are doing things later. And then also, like the women that like had did it like earlier and maybe are in the season of now they're headed towards their 40s and in their 40s, but they're single again, or their kids are leaving the house, or they're going through divorce and they're finding themselves again. And I would say to that, it's no timeline. You can always
Right.
reinvent yourself. You can always start over and be whoever you
Mhm.
want to be, no matter what your circumstances are. And I think women, we are really doing the work
Mhm.
to
Mm-hmm.
heal from our circumstances. And I'm proud of y'all.
Proud
Proud
of
of
you.
you too.
Proud of y'all. So the expectation of like marriage, I feel like now there are a lot of singles in 40, or people who just technically have never been married.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you think the marriage decline? And a lot of people who would say, now there's a lot of people who would say they would never get married again. So
Mm.
why do you think there's a decline?
I think us talking having this conversation, right? A lot of these traditions was brought upon us by society and families from years ago, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happened is, one, I think some people were forced to just get married. Like, that's the next step. Like how we were saying the timeline, just do it. And we have a lot of people who went into marriage broken, in a sense. When I say broken, not saying it's just because they had trauma. They actually went into the marriage like, we not one. I'm just doing this. Come on, let's just do this. And I think about a guy that I used to date. He literally told me the only reason he was married was because of finances. So she had some debt and was going through and couldn't get ahead. He had debt. They moved together. They got married. It was no like, oh yeah, I love you and I want to make this work. So I think about like old school, the reason why, and if we were going off of some of those principles, people were just getting married. It was like, do you know why you're marrying this person? And let's be real, like, do you even like the person? And so I think maybe like when they said during the pandemic, a lot of divorces came about because I don't think people liked each other. They were able to go to work. They didn't see each other until they came home, eat, go to bed, start all over again.
Mm-hmm.
Pandemic, you saw each other every day. So I think too, it just comes down to like, what was the reason someone decided to get married? I think for myself, honestly, when I was younger, I did want to get married. Uh, After I was like 26, I decided that I didn't know if it was for me only because I was looking at my parents. My parents got a divorce. It was a lot of abuse. And then I had to heal my heart in it. And I would say I want to get married, but I wasn't really into it. Because, you know, you can say stuff in friend groups, but you know in
Mm-hmm.
your heart, you're like, let's see about this. Um, so I think it started to decline overall based on what people were seeing growing up, what society say. People didn't really like each other. I think it's a mix of
Yeah.
things. And what I've realized is that marriages, every day you have to choose each other. And if people are not willing to choose each other every day to continually make it go on for years, then
Well,
if one person give up.
And you can't make the other person, you both gotta want it. You can't make the other person. And for the married people and the people who have been married or whatever, please chime in because you experienced it. So give
Mhm.
us some feedback and your thoughts as well. This is just us, kind of talking like because we're people that haven't got married and what we see and our experience
Art.
that's kind of stopped us. Patrice, what are your thoughts?
I agree, Bonnie, with the finance aspect of it because growing up in California, shit is expensive. Like it's so expensive. So a lot of people that I knew, it was just like right after school, it was like people were hooking up, people were living together, and some eventually got married or whatever. But they were always they had to live with someone just to make
Mhm.
it, just to get
Mm.
by, unless they were still at home. Because
Mhm.
there's a couple people I know that are still at home. That's a lot. But I left Cali and I went back to Michigan and I was able to get on my feet and live on my own. And after doing that, it was just like, ooh, okay, I could do this. I can do this. I don't
Mhm.
have to. I don't want to force anything or just to be with somebody, just to have a
Mhm.
roof over my head. That's not me. And then the family aspect of it. For me, my parents, they're still together. 45
Mm.
years, still together, still going strong. And that was my example. And to me, all growing up, they were perfect. They were the perfect couple. And
Mm.
that's what I was striving for. So it was a little bit different than your situation, but I was striving for that. But then the other side of that was I meet someone, I'm like, nope. After a little, nope, you ain't it. You ain't it. You ain't it. So I just kept leaving and leaving and leaving. So that was my experience. But I do think our examples and
Mhm.
finances, all of them are pieces of the puzzle
Mm.
as to why things are the way they are now.
I would say for me, okay, so my experience is different. I didn't grow up. I didn't know who my dad was. My mom told me I was Puerto Rican, and I'm never letting that go. I'm not. It's crazy looking at I was talking to her today. I was like, oh, she's like, but I'm not. So I grew up, my mom's single parent, but actually the twist is I had a cousin. Okay, you guys, my family's like super old. Sorry if y'all watching, y'all are older. But I had all these great aunts. So my cousin ended up raising me. So my example of a household, and my cousin had multiple sclerosis. And to me, she's the strongest woman I've ever met because this woman did everything. I was spoiled. I had a clean house, food, everything. She did everything, probably in pain. So
Oh.
also all the men by the time I was coming up, those great aunts, they did all have husbands. Think of their generation. They were all married at one time. Girl, by the time the 80s hit, they was all dead.
Mm.
So they were the pillars in our family. Like you respected them, you feared them. There was male cousins, but I mean, these women. So I kind of was um raised around this strong woman mentality, but they had been married before. But I always think about the things because of the time being women and being Black women. I think a little bit just some conversation, some of that. I'm sure it was love, I guess, but survival.
Mhm.
And
Mm.
so I never had like that male figure. So I always wanted to get married. I always wanted to be in this great loving relationship, but I don't know how to be.
Mhm.
So that had kind of been holding things up. It's a blessing though, because I've gotten time to know what I value
Mhm.
Mhm.
and what I want and how to be hopefully an effective partner. So I believe it'll still happen. But you guys, I did finally find out who my father was. That has helped. And that was this year. This is when I found out on my 40th birthday that I wasn't Puerto Rican, mom. I was in Puerto Rico and I'm like on my birthday and I'm on the beach and I'm about to look at these results and I said, I thought I was home. Girl, I was not home. Like I was not home. But I had to forgive. I'm
Oh,
trying. Oh, but
yeah.
I did end up meeting my father and my grandmother, and I have siblings. So that helped. Maybe I needed to do all those things, and now I can go on and have, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's all timing, but that was my example. I didn't ever have it. So it
Mm.
shaped me to keep searching, looking for love in all the wrong places.
Mm.
So that's been my experience. But I still want to get married. So I'm
I agree.
sure.
I want to get married now. I think now that I healed and realized that like what my parents had is not what I'm going to have.
Yeah. And even if it, whatever doesn't, because going through a healing process, now at this age, I understand even if something doesn't work out, no matter what it is, you will be okay. I didn't come this far to get this far.
Right.
Right.
So
Mhm.
yes, I love it. So and you guys, there's actually I'm gonna put in the comments also. There's some articles about like how and where women feel more discriminated heavily, and then also a profile of single Americans. It's pretty high here, so I'll put those in the trend of that. And I will say another reason why we're probably staying single, y'all, we getting standards. We tired.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Mm-hmm.
agree. I agree. I've had to not be as strict though, because I was, before I was very strict. Like, you raised your voice, I'm out. Like I have to.
You raised your voice.
My parents argued. They never argued. It was just a weird thing, but it was my norm. It was my normal. So yeah, I've had to bring it a little bit.
I think I had to redefine mine. So I've had them, but I had to redefine it. And one time last year it hit me. So therapy really brought me closer to my relationship with God. And one day I was just writing in my journal, minding my business. And I was just writing how I feel. And I had this like thought, and it was like, God was like, do you even think you deserve
Mm.
what you're asking me for?
Oh, wow.
And I was like, so I took some time to process it. I didn't answer. I just processed. And I really thought about it, is that I didn't think I deserved it.
Mm.
And because I know sometimes we ask for stuff, but we don't know how to receive. And that was it. Like, he was like, I need you to receive that. Like, you're asking me for these things that you want, and also so it can be meet your needs and that person you're looking for needs. But do you really want it? Do you think you deserve it? And so I just started having conversations with myself around self-love. So welcoming somebody in and realizing like, you do deserve this. Because I'm going to be honest, I used to be like, okay, I don't want to be dealing with no angry guy. I gotta have this. You know how like you already have all these thoughts in your head and you talking to him on the phone or you texting and everything and you already thinking scenarios. And it was like, stop these scenarios because you're putting all that stuff out here.
It hasn't even
Like,
happened yet.
right. And it's like, why can't you just be open to receive good things? And that's what has changed me. Like, really helped me with going into dating. Like, let's receive some good stuff.
I made a decision. Oh, go ahead, Patrice.
Well, no, I do like that because I have had the habit of I don't want, I don't want, I don't want. But that's what I'm saying out loud. The things I do want, I'm not saying it out loud. I need to say what I do want out loud so that can come versus all the stuff I don't see. There it is. There it is. There, I'm seeing that because that's what I keep putting out. So yeah, I'm working on that.
Yeah, I gotta work on that too a little bit. I actually do have a list of do's actually.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have that. I wrote it. I shared it with both of you guys. But bottom line, all this healing, all this growth, all the shit that I've even just put myself through, all this goodness is not going into the hands of a broken man.
Mm.
I'm not saving nobody.
Ooh.
I'm not, I mean, right now, I don't even know if I really care about your hopes and dreams. I mean, nobody cares about mine. I don't know what to tell you. I can't console you. I mean, we got to build up to that. Like, we got to build a rapport. And a foundation to have
Oh.
exchanges. They be coming in with a gate with their hopes and dreams and holding them down. I don't know you, sir.
I tell you, you just
But
gotta
yeah,
let me text you back first. Let's get there. Am I gonna respond to you? I gotta get past just responding to a person. So yeah.
yeah. So I think so. Instead of saying I don't want no broken man, having that list of what this man is, this whole and this healed man that I want to come in my life. But guess what? That starts with me.
Mm-hmm.
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 That starts with me, right? Like
Right.
I
Yeah.
gotta change. It's
Yeah.
not about them. It's about me. We have free will. I can say thanks or no thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
It's I believe what you tell me and I believe what you show me. That kind of attitude.
Yes.
So yes. Oh my gosh. So now we're talking about dating. How has like okay, you said you have to at least respond. What who okay, who is actually so we're all single on here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to date?
I want to date. I do.
I
What's
do.
holding you
I do
back?
want to.
What's holding you back?
Honestly, what held me back was not the fear of dating. I had been just exhausted from like work, taking care of myself. I had I realized that this work from home life, even though it's cool, it's not the best for me. I need people. So I had to first adjust to this and then get okay with let's start dating. Because I was going to do online dating, but I didn't have the energy to, after I was out, once work was over, you get off one screen to go to your phone and be on another screen. I was like, who's supposed to do this? And then they was like, set up a profile. Like, then I gotta go. I felt like setting up a profile was work. Like, if somebody wants to set up my profile, let me know. Even in the comments, like, please help the girl. And can you be the person that look and see, like, no, yes, no, help? Because it was just too much. Like, I just didn't have the mental energy to. That's where I'm at. Like, if you say we're gonna go out somewhere, I can do that. But if I gotta be on another screen, I'm gonna be like,
Mm-hmm.
What about you, P?
Well, I do. I do want to date. I have tried the online thing, and interesting. Again, they don't think I am my age, so you get a lot of the like. I had a 26-year-old kid that was just like, "Hey," I'm like, "No, sir, that's not going to work for me." We're yeah. It's just I don't know. The online dating is it's hit or miss, but it's been a lot of misses for me.
Wait, but what? Tell do you tell them what happened to you Friday?
Wait. I put my stuff out there.
Oh,
So we went to Grassroots for
Mhm.
this R&B shindig. What was it? I don't know. This little thing. And one of the, are they called MCs? One of the rapper guys came over to me and was like, "Oh, my friend likes you. My friend thinks you're dope, da 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 da." And I was like, "Thank you." First of all, this person isn't coming to me. So why aren't they coming to me instead of the friend? It's like we're not in high school. And so I'm just like, oh, "Okay, thank you." And he's like, "He's right over there. He's wearing black, or whatever." I'm not turning around. I'm not drawing any attention. I'm just like, "Oh, okay, thank you." And I just go sit down with Tamika. And then once the event was ended, I get up because we're getting ready to leave. And so this kid comes over to me and he says, "Hi." I can't remember what his name was. I don't know if you remember what his name was, but he just says, "Hi." And I was like, "Hi." And he was just like, "Oh, have you been here often?" "No, sir." I have not. I've not been here. And he was just like, "So what do you like to do?" He was asking me these questions and I was like, "Wait, what?" I was putting it together. When I tell you this kid had to be, I mean, at the most, I feel like he was probably 19. I don't even, I mean, he was this little skinny little kid, like just, I mean, I'm not wearing a mask. You can see all of me. Like, I don't know. I don't
You
I
know,
thought
know.
it
them
was
youngins,
funny.
they like them older women, Patrice. Them
So I
youngins.
was like getting ready to leave, like, "Nice to meet you." And Tamika's like, "Who are you talking to?" And so the whole time Patrice got hit on by a 12-year-old, and I'm just like,
I mean, he looked like, who
he
is
looked so young. I'm like, come on.
God?
Yeah.
No.
But you know what I find different? So online dating, I don't know. We're here in Arizona, and I put my city in, right? And then I'll be like, do some men don't like to take better pictures, or is it we just
they
don't
don't
like
know.
how we take care of ourselves, or is it because you think you're in your late 30s, 40s, early 50s that we could just look however? Ugh.
They don't know how to take pictures. They don't know how.
No,
It's a
you know
mess.
what I keep finding? No man wants to be in a relationship. The older, and these I'm dating age appropriately. No, like there was a guy. We've been out on 4 dates. It was an amazing. I mean, we was cool. Like, and then he was just like, we're talking about something. He was like, yeah, I don't want to be in a relationship. And then it was like, oh, I probably wouldn't have children for like 10 more years. I'm like, whoa, that's not gonna work.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of that because think about it. What guy is really going to want to have a kid? Like they probably already have had children, and their kids are probably like older or out the door. So are they going to start over at 40? And am I going to meet another 40-year-old guy who's in the same position as me? So I just pray to God, find a guy who wants to just have a kid with me for some reason. Maybe he didn't want one before, but he wants one with me.
But there's the other side too. The very, very first person I met online, we met up and we started talking, and I asked about the children. He had 5 kids already. And I was like, and this may have been like 3 years ago. So maybe I was, playing with the thought of possibly, like, what if,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, so do you want more children? And he was like, yes. We can get married. We can have a child. Like, he wanted to be in the child's life their entire, childhood or whatever, which I get because he wasn't with any of however many baby mamas there were. And he wanted to do that. And I was like, oh, okay. But then I was like, so how old is your youngest? Why was his youngest like 4 weeks?
Dang.
4 weeks.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, are you
So
serious?
this man told me, he said, I need to delete my site, the online site is him and me. We can go get married right now. You don't know me. Like,
Why is it so extreme? Why can't we do normal stuff?
That's crazy to me.
Oh, wait, you guys, we got a couple comments. Okay. So Nas and Mama, that was a while. She said, yes, Yvonnda, who want to shovel my snow? Also not a homeowner. LOL. Yep. Not everybody desires to be. People got to understand we all don't desire the same things. And I love that it's more acceptable to be like, I don't want that.
Mm-mm.
So who else do we have?
But I get that comment.
Yeah. Shay said, pass the plate. You preaching. Hey, girl.
Hey.
We out here changing lives.
But as far as being a homeowner, I totally get that. I get that, Bonnie. Like, when I decided to purchase my home, I was scared. I was like, there are 3 bathrooms in here. Who is going to clean all 3 of these bathrooms? But at the end of the day, it's like, if I don't want to do it, I got to hire somebody to do it.
That's the big thing out here. Or a lot of people are starting to do. We're starting to take things as women off our plates. Yes. We are hiring maid service.
Yes.
We are doing. A lot of my friends are doing that. We're freeing up our time because I think we're learning that time is valuable.
It is.
Yeah. Oh, I have a comment for you, Cougar Patrice.
Hey, Miranda.
Look at you. Okay. Wait. Okay. Laughing. That's about your story. And then sweatpants and tank tops are not dress up clothes.
Right.
Yeah, right. They are not. And in Arizona, they're laxed out here on dressing up. Iowa too.
But I also think too, when I think about when I think about as women are dating right now all over, I feel like men, as the older they get, they just feel like, well, you just accept me for who I am. And you'll be like, okay, goodbye. I accept you.
But they want so much from us. They want us to be, you know, that perfect, whatever it is that they envision. But whatever we envision, that's not what we're gonna. They don't expect us to have that.
Wait, Nas and Mama had a good comment there. Was he really single after 4 weeks?
Oh, after 4 days. But actually, he does IT. He's a traveler. He travels a lot.
No, not the one Patrice was with.
Patrice.
He just had a baby like 4 weeks ago. Was he
really
really?
was he? Oh, Patrice.
He said he was single. And you know what's funny? Because you know how like they come out of the blue? I want to say, what day is it? Earlier this month, that man messaged me. Hey, how are you doing? How's your weekend? Da, da, da. It's like, really? So,
right.
What's going on with him?
Hold on. Another one. And accept. I don't gotta be with you. Right. I accept you and accept I don't gotta be with you. I like that.
Yes.
Oh, that is hilarious. Facts. Facts. Yes. So another thing, like you think as you're getting older, you know, your body's changing, or how do you physically feel about yourself? Well, in the sense when it comes to like your looks, your sexuality, do you feel sexy? Are y'all out here getting it in? Like all the above, because as you get older, people think because think about when our grandparents, I mean, 40, you were in a muumuu. And you and your husband were sleeping in separate rooms.
Mm-hmm. You said we're wearing a muumuu. Those things feel good though.
They do.
I'm like, this is a little loose, but
it look good though. Patrice, you look good.
Thank you. We all look good.
Yeah, because we're out here. We're looking great, staying hydrated, drinking water, taking care of our health, trying to. We have more knowledge now. I'm on TikTok. The 40-year-old look. There was a 50-year-old lady like twerk. She didn't even look 50. I don't know, but she was like twerking and stuff. I was like, ma'am. Okay. So how do you feel about yourself, like physically, aesthetically?
I think for me, it depends on the day. Mm-hmm. Like when I was talking about working at home, I am hardly ever in makeup anymore. When I was in my 20s and 30s, I would not go to the grocery store without having makeup on or having my hair done or something. And now it's just like, this is me. Like, this is me. And I am at home every day without makeup on, having my hair in twists and only untwisting or doing something if we're having brunch or we're going or whatever, because this is it. As far as my health and my physical appearance, depends on the picture, depends on the angle. Yeah. You know, there's some days where I'm like, okay, you know, you look okay, and other days it's like, ooh, I think I need to do some push-ups. I think I should do a little something, and I'll jump on that treadmill for a week, and then, you know, we'll see.
I think for me, I went through a journey. You all know that like I had surgery last year dealing with fibroids and things. And that took a toll on how I felt about myself because of the fact that I gained 40 pounds within like 3 months. And I didn't know why I kept gaining this weight. Also, too, being online every day on Zoom, you look at yourself every day. They actually said since 2020, cosmetic surgeries has went up due to Zoom. And I found myself judging myself differently. I would say, though, for some reason, being on Zoom all day, I became a big advocate of skincare. So I went crazy skincare, get facials all the time, have my own steam. Like I can do the whole thing. That did something for me, which made me feel better about myself. Once I gained all the weight, I didn't like certain things about myself. I'm not going to lie, because, you know, you gain weight really quick. It's like you can't fit anything. And that was just so much to handle. And now being in your 40s versus 30s and 20, I could like start a fitness plan and be down 20 pounds within a month, right? Mm-hmm. Not right now. I was like, oh my gosh, what is up? And doctors are saying, well, you know, hormones, forget you and these hormones. That's what I want to say. But what I had started to do, I had to start like literally going back to I statements with my looks and like, you are, I am beautiful. I love myself, and not let the weight affect me or how it shows up in a picture or in a Zoom call or something like that. And I had to start with internally doing things. And also therapy taught me, because I brought this up in therapy, is forgive the doctors and everything that led me to this place, because I think I was holding on to that, which was bringing me down also. So I had to do a part of forgiveness of just like, okay, it happened. Your story is going to help free somebody, and then we're going to work out. So right now I have been working on stress management. I started Pilates and I love it.
Oh, nice.
And then to just doing little steps. Like, in the past, I think about my life about like changing. You know how you try to do like a million things at once? I just do little steps. Like, okay, this week, you're not going to cook. Just have that meal delivery service. And basically, let's do 50 ounces of water every day. That's just it. Nothing else. So that's what I've learned.
So Nas and Mama, and the weight always goes straight to your stomach. Same here. I'm dealing with like in my 30s, I 100% fluctuated in weight. And now that I've turned 40, maybe I had dropped, but then I came back up, and my body seems like it's, even though maybe it's been this weight before, it feels like my body is shaped differently.
Yes.
It's really weird, and it's in my stomach. And so when I go to the doctors, I'm gonna get my hormones checked, my breast exam, I'll get my own mammogram, and just be more involved with my care and the things that I've learned, and asking questions. Sometimes you need to ask, you got to advocate for yourself with these doctors, and especially people of color. You have to, there is still healthcare disparities with minorities. I think we don't have pain and we don't have issues, and we have to advocate for ourselves. But I would say probably the weight gain, and like just dealing with, I'm not gonna lie, I have a little bit of a vanity of just getting older, and what's that going to look like, because I'm starting to see some things where I feel like I'm changing. So just mentally like dealing with that, and like you said, accepting myself. Not saying I'm gonna like myself when I lose weight. I might not be able to even drop all of this. I might only be able to drop 10 and have to be happy with that. And that's the happy weight. So just being, I think that's the hard part. I think I just crossed the threshold of 40. So those are the things that are hard, is on just getting, I realize I'm like actually like been around 40 years. I'm starting to look different. My weight's different. A lot of bad habits. I've cut some of them out, like physically. Like I used to smoke cigarettes. I haven't smoked in 2 years. Watching how much I drink. Like I can't bounce back. Having the proper amount of sleep. That's a big one. Energy level is different. So and just taking care of my mental health is my top priority. Because remember, like, this is the decade where you're starting to go through the, what is it called? Like the premenopause, or what's the
Perimenopause.
perimenopause? Yeah, that no one really, I never really heard perimenopause until recently. And a lot of people probably don't know they're going through that. So then they're dealing with mental stuff, and they're thinking they're losing it when it's a hormone change. So
I agree with that completely, and I think I may be experiencing that myself.
Let's start
But
in
I
your
am
30s.
I'm already an emotional person. So when my emotions lately have just been super heightened, and I'm just like, what is really going on? Like, why am I just emotional all of the time? And more so sad than angry, just at anything. Anything. But that has been brought up, and they're like, maybe that's what you're going through. But it's hard. But I guess I'm starting to get used to some things, being in my 40s for a little bit now. But growing up, I was super skinny. I was a twig. Like my brother used to make fun of me and say I was anorexic when I wasn't, and so I never thought that I would gain weight. And so when I started gaining it in the beginning, it was just like, oh, okay. Like what I was saying, oh, and a little, you just do a couple things and it's off. And now it's like, okay, I was on a treadmill for a whole week and I lost 1 pound or like, like what is happening? Like, come on, but yeah, it's a different mindset and trying to just be like, okay, I'm mentally okay with where I am right now.
Yeah. Mary Jo, she said, remember the natural bioidentical hormones pellets. Keep your hormones balanced. They will make you feel fantastic. Women also need testosterone, which is a natural mood enhancer. Thank you. Thank you for that feedback. Yes.
And definitely too, Tamika or Patrice, when you do, usually, some doctors don't check all your hormones, but my naturopath, she went through and checked all of them. Because sometimes, what I understand, I don't know, but from what I understand, what I'm told, I'm not a doctor, but some of the things they teach in medical school for women, they only usually focus on our thyroid as far as hormonal stuff, but all the other hormones, unless you have a doctor who's like, okay, I'll do it. Because after my surgery and everything I was going through, my doctor came to me and was like, you may be estrogen dominant. And I was like, what is that? And I started doing all my own research. I thought we were going to do more stuff. She's just like, oh, yeah. Okay, bye. And I had to go find a doctor myself that was helping me because that was just it. But to get back to the weight gain, I just want to share this story, right? So one of my good friends, I think she's 61 now. 2020, we're all on Zoom. We're having a conversation. One day she hit us with, I'm going to get lipo. I'm done with it. She was like, I am 59. It ain't coming off. I'm getting lipo. So I'm not above it. So I just want to let y'all know that I'm putting that out there. I'm not above lipo. So if you see a girl later this year, you be like, Bonnie. That's all I'm saying. I'm not above it. I'm gonna live my life. I ain't trying to have a BBL because I got enough booty already.
You good?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
No, so I think about like after you, especially, okay, in our situations, we're single women and we're in our 40s, but we are living our best lives. So some people think, I don't know, I was on a call at work and my friend, I think she was joking because these women were doing different things with their family and they were visiting different places. My friend was like, girl, we got to step our game up. And I said, I have a great life, actually. I do travel. I didn't say all that, but I go, girl, I did say, girl, I have a great life. I don't know what something, but I didn't like, and we all start laughing. But I was thinking, okay, I don't have children. I don't have like a man or anything. But I was like, man, I'm really blessed. I have healing. I live a great life. I'm financially stable. I'm stable emotionally, financially. I have like really great relationships with people, with my friends. I'm on the right track with my family. It's in my heart to have those things, so they'll come. But I have a ball. I'm in these streets, y'all. I'm in these streets.
Yes.
I'm doing all of it. I got hobbies. I got tons of things that make me feel happy. Yes, the sad times do come. Sometimes I do feel lonely. That is honesty. That is the truth. But it passes, and I appreciate something, Yvonnda, you said to me. When it comes, pray. You're never alone. And that has helped. And I reminded all the stuff that I do have, opposed to what I don't. It's coming. But imagine us being our age, we can live any way we want. Some of us might not ever want to get married. We just desire partnership. Some of us want kids. Some of us don't. We don't have to do anything we don't want to do. So what do you guys do to live your best life? What do you do?
Well, for me, I love spending time with my niece. She is 3 years old and she is just everything. And she's so honest. She's so honest and so loving and just just hearing her say auntie, I love it so much. That brings me joy and brings me back. Also, communicating with my mom and asking her questions and getting to know her better as an adult versus when I was a child, just seeing her as, putting her on that pedestal or whatever, just getting to know her as a woman to woman. That helps me a lot as well. Yeah.
I'll say for me, I had to go back and figure out how to have fun. I think I was just because of how I grew up, I was always the middle oldest, or my dad's middle and my mom's oldest, always focusing on everybody else. So recently, just the little things like in the background, I got a record player. What up to Shay for, helping me focus on getting a record player. That has made my life happy. Starting with like doing art, having hobbies again, because I realized as an adult, you can't just be like, I'm gonna just go to work, come home. That's boring. That's when we get to that point of like, oh, I am lonely. I have nothing else to do. You need to have fun, right?
Mhm.
And so finding hobbies that will make me have fun and get out the house, because I realize exercise is not a hobby. It's not. And I can't be brunching it all the time and just going to the wine club as a hobby because of the fact that I'm drinking so much alcohol and I got to
Right.
watch it, right? Brunch is good. Going out with your girls, your friends is great. But I'm at this point in my life learning to have fun and things I really like to do. And what I
Mhm.
told myself, I have to do something fun for me every day. And doing something fun to you doesn't mean it has to be like big, right? It could be just something
Mhm.
simple. The other day, I was just decorating my office. I didn't realize how much fun I had until I had like my music on, blasting, singing. And I was like, oh, I feel good. So that's what's been bringing me so much joy. And of course, connecting with friends and family. Um, but just getting out, like even sitting outside when it's not super hot, things
Mm-hmm.
of that nature. And like, I like what you said, Tamika, when you was like, I have a good life. Cause like, I've realized that like you
Mhm.
do have a really good life and great things are going on. And I don't want to feel like I need a man and a child added to have a good life. Because some people have a child and a man, or a child and a or if it's not a man or a woman, whatever you choose, and they
Mhm.
still ain't happy.
Right. Facts. Facts. And I like what you said. Like, you have to have something that you're interested in, or you're always going to be bored. You have to like care, fun. The little things can be fun. Oh, we have some comments, y'all. I
Oh.
mean, let's see what y'all talking about. Oh, this is for you, Vonnie. Get that cool sculpt, girl. Snatch it like you wanna.
All right, I may, Miranda.
Ah, and then okay, see you outside. That's your ID. Look, but I did say this month I was like, okay, I still kind of went outside, but I feel like I went 12 days without like being in the streets, so I felt like that was good. But in September, don't I'll put this out. I'm gonna try to like fast, so I'm gonna have to like chill because I have to focus on the that's just like on a spiritual thing I need to focus on. So I'm gonna sit down after Labor Day, y'all. But Labor
You
Day,
said after Labor Day. Okay.
We'll see. We'll see. Bonnie, I did like what you were saying about organizing your office because, that does bring me joy. I completely forgot about that. Like, that is something that when I am stressed sometimes, it's like, I need to declutter. Like, I need to do, go through the things. And I also think it's, I don't know, maybe a little spiritual for me or something because it's seeing what I have and being grateful for the things that I have instead of just everything's in a closet or things are just put away or just whatever. It's like you're going through the things you have. And it's like, I love my things, even down to certain utensils. They're so pretty. And you
yeah.
want everything to look nice and be a certain way. And that does bring me joy. So yes, I love that you're organizing that office. And if you need help.
Yeah.
I'm
So
always
I got a little game for you guys.
okay.
Oh
So I'm gonna
God.
ask a question. Maybe I'll do this. I'll do one at a time and just the first thing that comes to your head. So let's start with Yvonnda.
Okay.
What would you tell your 30-year-old self?
Just be patient with yourself. Just be patient with yourself and enjoy life. Have more fun.
What is your wildest dream?
Oh, all these for me?
Yeah. Oh, yep. We're gonna.
Oh,
And then I'm
wow.
gonna go to Patrice.
Okay. Like something I want out of life.
For sure. Yeah.
Actually, to be able to own like property in 3 different countries, like so that I can hop or maybe have a nope. That's not. Let me take it back. I actually want to own property in every country if I can.
What motivates you?
What motivates me? Honestly, what motivates me is knowing that I'm loved by God, like really understanding
Oh,
that gets me.
your purpose.
Tamika, I'm still trying to figure that out. I think it has something to do with healing people and women.
What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Hmm. A legacy of that I want people to feel love and that they received love from me, and then also know I can be a place of trust. I was a place of trust for them.
So, what would you want God to say once your journey is completed here on earth?
Well, I want to say, well done. Good and faithful servant.
You don't want to say you're trash. That would be
Right.
like, oh my
That's what
God.
I wanted to say. But it would be great just to hear him say, I saw you, I saw your struggles, and I want you to know I was always there.
Amen. All right, Miss Patrice.
Uh-oh.
What would you tell your 30-year-old self?
What would I tell her? It gets better. It gets better. Yes, it does.
What is your wildest dream?
My wildest dream. Ah, well, financial freedom. Not having to work. Home.
What motivates you?
What motivates me? Um, just knowing I can do better. Like I can do better. Keep working at it. Like it's gonna get better, and you're on your way. Yeah.
Your purpose?
My purpose. I feel like to be able to share love and joy with other people and then accept that. For me to, I think like Bonnie was saying, have a safe space. I like having this tranquil environment where so many people are like, I'm coming to visit because I need to get away from the chaos. Everyone
Mhm.
likes to come here. That's it.
And what would you want God to say to you once your journey is completed here on earth?
I'm proud of you. You did it.
Uh, Beautiful. So, one thing, what is the best part, each of you, let me know, about being in your 40s?
For me, I guess since I grew up very like sheltered and it was a very strict environment, I can do whatever I want to do. And it sounds so little, but I can do whatever I want whenever I want. I can have that dessert for breakfast if I want, or just anything.
I think for me, in my 40s, I feel the best thing is feeling liberated. I've never felt this free and have freedom of saying no or and being and like not second guessing myself because I said no. Nope, I said no. Okay, goodbye. And like I'm not going. Yeah, that's not happening. Or like I'm not wearing those heels. They hurt my feet. Nope. Or I'm wearing this dress because I want my stomach to breathe. Like just being free and being honest with myself has been more liberating for me ever. And I used to think back, like, why in your 30s you let this stuff? Why didn't you just say no? Or why didn't you just not wear that? Like,
Yeah.
that has really helped me being in my 40s. And I'm so comfortable with it. Oh, I feel so good about it. Just totally do.
Yes.
Woo. It's the liberation. Yes, 100%. Well, oh my gosh, this has been great. Great conversation, a lot of laughter, a very good time. And I thank each and every one of you for watching And I thank you guys for joining in, because without guests willing to have conversations with me and taking time out of your free time, wouldn't be able to do it. So I thank you both for joining. So if you guys enjoyed this conversation, please hit that subscribe button. Share this episode. You don't want to miss any episodes of Divine Honey, or even some of the other videos that might come up on this Bougie Girl page. You can also listen to Divine Honey on Apple Podcast and Spotify. Those links are in the About section. This episode will be uploaded to those platforms in like the next 30 minutes in case you want to listen. Until next time, you guys. Do you guys have anything before we depart?
I just want to say thank you for having me. It was so much fun. Thank you both.
And I agree. Thank you for having me. And this was fun. A great conversation. I appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, ladies. And until next time, peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessings.